You know that feeling, right? You accidentally smack your elbow on something, and this weird electric shock zings all the way down your arm. Well, today, we're going to get into what's actually behind that funny bone feeling, and, more importantly, what it means when that sensation just doesn't go away. We're talking about Cubital Tunnel Syndrome.
It's one of those things almost everyone has experienced, that bizarre, tingly zap after you knock your elbow. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really happening there? It's not just a weird, temporary feeling. It's actually a signal from a very important nerve, one that can sometimes get into some real trouble.
So here's the secret. Your funny bone isn't a bone at all. It's actually your ulnar nerve. And when that nerve gets pinched or compressed in the little channel it runs through in your elbow, that's the cubital tunnel, you get this condition. This isn't just about a quick zap anymore. It becomes a persistent problem, leading to numbness and that pins and needles feeling, especially in your ring and pinky fingers.
So just how common is this? Well, you might be surprised. It affects up to 5% of adults. To put that in perspective, that makes cubital tunnel syndrome the second most common nerve entrapment in your arm, right behind carpal tunnel, which everyone's heard of.
Okay, so what's actually causing this nerve to get so squeezed? Let's dive into the common causes and the things that might put you at a higher risk.
Just look at this list. So many of these are things we do every single day without even thinking about it. We're talking about constantly bending your elbow to hold your phone up to your ear or while you're typing. Or how about just leaning your elbows on your desk or on the car's armrest during a long drive? Then you add in things like a past elbow injury, medical conditions like diabetes, or even smoking, and your risk just keeps climbing. All right, let's say some of this is sounding a little too familiar. How does a doctor figure out if this is really what's going on? Let's walk through what a diagnosis looks like.
So it's really helpful to understand the difference between symptoms and signs. Symptoms are what you feel, that numbness, maybe a weaker grip or pain right on the inside of your elbow. Signs, on the other hand, are what a doctor or a clinician can actually detect during an exam. They might find you have less feeling in your fingers, or they could test your muscle strength. They might even gently tap on the nerve at your elbow to see if it creates that zinging feeling. That's what they call a positive Tinel sign.
Now, you really want to pay attention to these. We're talking about red flags. If you notice your hand is getting progressively weaker, or that numbness just isn't going away, or you're suddenly struggling with simple tasks like buttoning a shirt, don't just wait and see. These are signs that the nerve compression could be getting serious, and it's definitely time to see a doctor. So when you see a doctor, this is pretty much the path they'll follow. It always starts with a physical exam. From there, they might order a nerve conduction study. Think of it like an electrical speed test for your nerves. It can pinpoint exactly where that nerve is getting stuck and just how bad the traffic jam is. Sometimes they might also use an ultrasound or even an X-ray to get the full picture of what's happening inside your elbow. Okay, so you have the diagnosis. Now what? The good news is there are a lot of options, so let's take a look at what they are.
For a lot of people, especially with milder cases, the first step is making some simple changes. It's about being more mindful of your elbow position, trying not to lean on it or keep it bent for long periods. A night splint can be an absolute game changer because it keeps your arms straight while you sleep, giving that nerve a break. And then there are things like making your workstation more ergonomic and doing special exercises called nerve glides, which kind of help the nerve move more freely through that tunnel.
But what happens when those lifestyle fixes just aren't cutting it? Well, surgery might be the next step, especially if your symptoms aren't getting any better, your hand is getting weaker, or if those nerve tests show that the compression is pretty significant.
When it comes to surgery, there are basically two main approaches. The first is called a simple decompression. The surgeon just releases the tight tissue that's squeezing the nerve, basically giving it more breathing room right where it is. The other, which is a bit more involved, is an ulnar nerve transposition. In this one, they actually move the nerve to a whole new spot in the elbow where it won't be so cramped. The best option really just depends on your specific case.
So after you've gotten treatment, whether it's lifestyle changes or surgery, what's the road to recovery look like? Let's talk about what you can expect.
Here's the really encouraging part. The outlook is very, very positive. Surgery for this has a success rate between 70 and 90%. But here's the key. Timing is everything. The sooner you get it treated before any permanent nerve damage sets in, the better your chances are for a complete recovery.
And this timeline gives you a general idea of what recovery looks like after surgery. You'll probably be back to desk work within a week or two. Around the 1-month mark, you'll start exercises to get your strength back, and for many people, returning to more physical jobs is possible by about 2 months out. It's a steady process, but you get there.
Of course, after any procedure, it is so important to know what warning signs to look for. If you notice any signs of infection, like increasing redness, warmth, or any kind of drainage, or if you get a fever, you need to call your doctor. Same goes if your numbness gets worse or you have pain that your medication just isn't touching. These are not things you want to ignore.
And that really brings us to the bottom line, which this quote sums up perfectly. Cubital tunnel syndrome is definitely common, but the most important word here is treatable. The symptoms could be a huge pain, literally, but there are absolutely effective ways to fix it.
So, as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this one last thought. For a lot of people, the journey to feeling better might not start in a clinic, but with something as simple as changing how your desk is set up or how you hold your phone. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could a small, simple adjustment be your very first step towards getting some relief? Thanks for joining us.